From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, time for another edition of The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV, out on location on the USS Orleck in downtown Jacksonville, brought to you by our friends at the Fire Watch. My guest this time around is Bill Duran and Philip Ailes. Let's welcome them to the show. Bill, great to have you on the show.
I'm so
man.
excited to be here.
Hey, it's great to have you, my friend. So you were in the Army.
Yep. Was in the Army.
How long did you
5
serve?
years.
5 years.
Yep.
Out of high school, college?
Right out of
How'd you go?
high school. Right out of high school.
How'd you know you were going to do that?
Growing
At that
up,
age?
I had family in the military.
Okay.
I had an older brother who was kind of my mentor. He's my, and his father was killed in Vietnam.
Okay.
And so we were
Wow.
always a very, military-driven family.
Yep.
My dad couldn't go in because of medical reasons, but my grandfather was in and wounded.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it was always in the back of my mind.
Yep.
And then after high school a little bit, I decided one day, I'm like, you know what? It's time to make this dream come true.
Yep.
And I signed up.
Great career path, right? I mean, great start to life.
Absolutely.
Obviously, there can be huge risks based on what's going on in the world. But man, what a great run you had for 5 years. What'd you do with the Army?
I was a combat engineer. I was on the explosive side.
Oh.
Did work for NATO for a little bit.
Okay.
Over in Bosnia and places like that.
Yeah.
A lot of life lessons that have stuck with me since. So
I bet.
Best 5 years,
Good.
best thing I could have done.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Great to have you on the
Absolutely.
show. Philip, how you doing, my friend?
Hey.
Good
how
to see you.
doing? Thank
Old
you.
military police gentleman. Is that what I'm told?
Yes.
Wow. How long were you in the Army for?
24 years.
24. All his military. Thank you. God bless you for your time.
Yeah. No, I got
all his
into
military police, or how'd it go?
No, actually, I I was in National Guard first, and then went active duty.
Okay.
Because I was a police officer in Ohio, and I was making $10 an hour
As a
cop.
police officer. No kidding.
Yeah, and you know what? I looked at it and it was like I couldn't afford to feed my family on that, so I went active duty, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Wow.
Everybody tried to talk me out of it, saying, "Oh, you're not," because I was 26.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and I didn't have any of the stories my brothers did about when they went in overseas and everything. And I felt like I was missing out.
Yeah.
And I was going to school. I went on active duty. I earned my bachelor's.
Okay. Cool.
I transitioned off active into the reserves for my master's.
Yeah.
And then I went over and it actually deployed with a phenomenal unit, 324th out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
We trained the Iraqi police in Baghdad.
Wow.
We were the last iteration of military before they transitioned over to civilians teaching.
Wow.
And met some phenomenal people.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it was like, for me, it was like going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I found out that I was more comfortable in a combat zone than I was here in my own country.
Wow. No kidding.
Because that's what you train for in that chaos.
Yeah.
Constant. And then when you go to it, you're like, wow, this is my element.
Yeah.
And then when you come back, unfortunately, they indoctrinate you into it, but there's nothing for you when you get out.
When you get out. Right.
And I spent several years traveling, and I realized in myself I didn't have the emotional intelligence or mindfulness to integrate effectively back into the civilian world.
Wow.
And it's taken me time to do that.
Okay. And today, what's Ailes Solutions? What are you guys doing?
Ailes Solutions, I came up with Ailes Solutions because I want to find your vet solutions, not just give them, well, you go here or whatever. I look in, because in my schooling and everything, I went to Jesuit colleges.
Okay.
And it was about developing the whole person rather than just them academically.
Yep.
And I want to show that there is that pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
And I want to use emotional intelligence and mindfulness to bring them to the present.
Yep.
To realize great and wonderful things in the past.
Yep.
But they don't do anything for you from here on out. And now it's about refocusing, and family means a lot more now than it ever has.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're here, Philip. Thanks for
you.
being here. Thank you for your service, man.
I appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it. And Bill, you work for your brother, right?
Yeah.
You guys are in business together, and you guys, you represent truck driving accidents?
Yeah, we're the truck accident law firm, and
Okay.
we represent victims and families of catastrophic trucking crashes.
Jeez.
More importantly,
emotional.
we fight for safety changes
Okay.
so that we don't have new clients. That's
Right.
our ultimate goal.
Right.
So, but yeah, we deal with purely catastrophic trucking crashes, commercial motor vehicle crashes.
Right.
Um,
What's the biggest culprit if there is one? Falling asleep or just getting tired?
distracted driving,
Distracted.
without a shadow of a doubt,
That's
which is,
it.
and I think that's not just in semis,
No,
but in
it's
cars
not.
as
It's
well.
all over the place. Right. Wow. Well, that's great. Well, I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for your service as
Yeah,
well.
we appreciate it.
Great stories, and man, I can't imagine, but I'm glad what you're doing. We have a lot of veterans on our show. There are a lot of organizations on our show. There's a lot of help for all of our great veterans to take advantage of, and I hope they do, including with Hale Solutions.
All right.
So thanks for being here, guys.
appreciate it.
All right, peace and love.
Thank you.
Hey, more of these conversations over at iwannabuzz.com. We're on the USS Orleck. Till next time, be safe and be cool, and be right here. We'll see you right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers. Born out of the bold city of the South, the Southern Grill has been a mainstay in Jacksonville's South Bank for 24 years. From sunup to sundown, Southern Grill serves up home-cooked meals daily. From breakfast to Southern cooked barbecue, sandwiches, wraps, platters, and vegetarian options, the Southern Grill has you covered. At night, enjoy some live music at our full bar or catch this week's best college or NFL game with our NFL Sunday ticket. Dine in, to go, delivery, or catering. Enjoy a taste of the South at the Southern Grill.
Feel a new level of comfort with underwear for men. Created for men with an active lifestyle and designed for sports, work, medical, and everyday wear. Underwear for Men has a special patented drawstring pouch which allows you to adjust the perfect custom fit around your manhood. It allows you the separation you need and the support you deserve. The drawstrings adjust to isolate and support. The mesh pouch cools and comforts. The tailored fit won't rubber chafe. A tagless plush waistband sized to fit a man's waist, and materials that are quick dry and moisture wicking. Underwear for Men is available in all your favorite styles and colors. In briefs, trunks, and 6-inch and 9-inch boxer briefs, and in your choice of cottony, extra cool, viscose, or polyester fabrics. Underwear for Men. Support your manhood.
From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV, out on location on the USS Orleck, right here in downtown Jacksonville. Great to be here. Brought to you by our friends at Fire Watch. Make sure you check them out. Let's end veteran suicide right here in Jacksonville. My guest this time around, you're not going to believe it. He's been trying to come on for a long time. He's here today, though. It's the Jaguars' original pick and first ever Hall of Fame player. My teammate, my friend, Tony Baselli. What's up, Big Tone?
What's up, Tommy?
You're the man.
No,
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me. We finally did it.
I
We've
know.
been talking about it forever.
I know we have. It's great to have you. Hall of Fame, Tone. I'm going to start with that, dude. I mean, what an honor. You well-deserved. I can say that till I'm blue in the face. But how about you, man? Just what a great honor.
Yeah, who would have
Did
thought?
it humble you at all? Not that you needed to be humble.
No.
Was it a humbling experience?
It's a humbling experience.
Yeah.
It's probably the best adjective to describe the feeling.
Is it?
Because like you, I mean, I grew up loving the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how passionate you are about it. I love football, and to be included with those guys, the greats that I grew up watching, and then now to be a part of that fraternity is like the best way I can explain it is the last August at the induction, like 2 nights before. We had this thing, and they bring any Hall of Famer comes back, and it was the biggest class that ever came back. A number of guys, like 100+ Hall of Famers. Yeah. And we go into the bus room where all the buses, and everyone had to leave unless you were a Hall of Famer. Wow. And they gave everyone a glass of champagne, and we did a toast. Yeah. And Mean Joe Green gets up.
Did he throw his jersey to you?
Oh, it was the best. But he gets in the middle, and he starts doing a toast. And I literally took a step back. Yeah. To the very back of, I'm like, because you just don't feel like I'm like, this is Mean Joe Green. Right. I'm like, are you kidding me? Right. I was talking to Jack Youngblood, and I mean, all these great players, and It was awesome.
That
It's
is so
it's a
cool.
cool thing. And I think the other humbling part about it is representing Jacksonville and the Jaguars.
Yeah, no doubt.
And going through the whole process, what I found I made it, and that whole, I guess it was 8 months until induction.
Yep.
A lot of reflection, and for me at least, it was like looking back at how you got there, and all the people that helped you get there. Because I don't think none of us get to where we are by ourselves. That's like everyone's like, oh, pound your chest. I'm like, not me.
Right.
It was great coaches.
Yeah.
My dad,
well, you did your
uncle.
part, but they helped you.
Yeah, you helped.
Yeah,
I mean, God. I always tell people, God didn't. I didn't make myself 6'7" athletic. That's a gift of God. But it was the hard work. It was the people.
Yep.
And teammates.
It's great to be on top of the food chain, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's like, the funny things. People all the time say, like these family, moms and dads will come up and they'll have little Johnny or little, some little guy, and they say, hey, he wants to be an offensive lineman. What do you have any recommendations? And the parents are like 5'6", 5'9". And I look at them and I say, well, first of all,
get different genetics.
I don't say it that bluntly. I said, work hard, do your best, be dedicated, work on your technique, but, and you have to be gifted. You have to, God has to smile on you and give you an opportunity.
So how did you deal with, look, you obviously coming out of USC, first pick of the Jags, great great career, Hall of Fame career. How do you look back and just be like, man, what a ride.
What a ride. And
right?
I think, the NFL ride, coming to Jacksonville was great.
Yeah.
People all the time say, are you disappointed you didn't get to go to like the
York,
Giants or the Bears or the Cowboys, some team with history? And I said, not one moment of any day.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that helped me, someone's upset over there. One of the things that
strangle it, dog.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
One of the things that helped me is the teams I was on.
Yeah.
Like 95, in the experience we had in 95 in that locker room, and like that was a close team.
Yeah.
And one of the great things, I was the first pick, but you better not have ego in that locker room.
No, right.
Because everyone's like, hey, listen, like you get it. Like you're going to get, they're going to go after you. And I like that. And that was good because I think it helped me as far as, developing as a player and the toughness, not just physically, but mentally. Be able to grind through things. So it's been an amazing ride. And who would have known that, in 95, coming out of SC, I didn't even know where Jacksonville was, and now this is home.
How about Mike Mazer? I know he's a big influence. God rest his soul. I know him obviously at Boston College and here, and what a great coach. How did he help shape you?
Yeah, I was fortunate because I had two great coaches. Like, this is another gift of God. I had a great high school coach.
Did you?
Like, oh my gosh, he's in the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, a great high school coach. And I go to SC, and I had two amazing offensive line coaches. John Matsko, who's at the Commanders now still, and Mike Berry, who's retired. Both were amazing. And so you get drafted. You don't know.
Right.
It's a crapshoot. It's 132 or 1 of 30 back then.
Yep.
And Maves was great because I came in to the Jaguars and I had good technique and I knew like how to technically play the position.
Okay.
And Mike was good because he didn't try to change everything.
Right.
He came in and like guided me and let me be me, but also refined my skill set and really became a guy that had a great relationship. I trusted him. We had a back and forth going at it, but that was good.
Yeah.
Like he challenged me to be a better player. And I was very fortunate to have such a good coach because he was a great technical coach too.
Yep.
But he also helped me take it to the next level and refine those skills and challenge me to be better.
I remember when you got hurt in camp your rookie year, and we were on 3 different fields, and it all went quiet.
Yeah, because Loggeman's an idiot.
Like,
Loggeman, what's he doing?
Was it him?
Yeah, it was a bull. T-Mac, he's bull rushing. It was like the one day it rained in Stevens Point, pouring rain, wet field, and he decides to bull rush.
Oh,
my foot slips out, my knee gets all messed up, and it's always blind. I always
that's hilarious. I never knew it was Loggs. That's hilarious. But your first start was against Sean Jones.
That's right,
against Green Bay.
Yep,
and you shut him down. I remember at because he wasn't like the elite, but he was a really
good player.
Player.
It's funny because I remember everything about that game.
Do you really?
Because remember, so we had training camp.
Yep.
All the pressure being the #1 overall pick and all that stuff, and then you get in. I get hurt, so no preseason. trying to rehab my knee, come back, missed the first 3 games, and now we're playing national television. Sunday night, it was a Sunday night game.
No, it was,
that?
Yeah, I remember.
And Sean Jones is the right end.
Yeah.
And I remember looking, he had 106 sacks.
That's right.
Coming into that game.
That's right, yeah.
And I was as nervous as I've maybe ever been. Oh, that and the Bruce Smith game. I mean, those like as nervous as I've been.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember thinking, I'm like, we're going to find out real quick here whether you are worth a crap or not. Nice. And we're going to do it on national television. Yeah. So I remember walking in that game, and it was the first 3rd down, and it was 3rd and long, because I don't think we had a first down in that first half against the Packers, and we weren't very good. Yeah. And I blocked them. And I remember walking off the field. We didn't convert. I didn't care.
Right.
Just as long as
you just blocked them.
I blocked them.
Yeah.
And I remember walking off the field. I'm like, you know what? I can play in this league.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you could.
Yeah. It worked out okay.
Very well.
It worked out all right.
All right. Other than Bruce, who was? I want to make a guess. Who was your toughest guy to block?
You guess first.
I've heard you say it was kind of cheating.
You're cheating.
Yeah. McCrary.
It's Michael McCrary.
Yeah, from Baltimore.
He was probably the guy I struggled with the most. One game was John Randall.
Okay.
I didn't have a good game, and he was a hell of a player.
Oh, that's when they killed us 50-10. That was brutal. Moss had 3 bombs.
Yes,
remember that? It was like
just
70 yards. Bomb,
running by everybody.
Yeah, nobody could catch
no.
Yep.
But the guy who challenged me the most year in and year out, because we were in the same division as Baltimore, was Michael McCrary. Yep. And Michael's a guy that went to several Pro Bowls, double-digit sacks like 5 years in a row.
Yep.
And he wasn't the biggest guy. He was probably only 255 pounds. Tall, good length.
Yeah.
But he was as tough and as nasty and as tenacious as any guy I'd ever played against.
Okay.
And he was one of those guys, I'd get him on the ground, he'd start crawling to the quarterback. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
right.
So it made me, I felt like it was like, you know, I know you're a fight fan, boxing.
Yep.
I felt like every time I played him was a heavyweight fight.
Isn't it?
And it was like, it's going to be like 12 rounds.
Right.
And who can knock out the
But I
other
don't
guy.
think people realize the banging you guys do against each other. The arms, the shoulders.
Well, and back then.
Everything.
It was it's a physical game today, but it was probably more physical.
Totally. You could do more.
You could do more. That's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
And I would try to get him on the ground, and I would go after him. Forearms to the back of the head, lay on him. I was 325 pounds. I'd just lay on him, and he'd be grunting.
Yeah.
I do everything I could to try to take his will away from him.
Yep.
And we had great battles. But I probably respect Michael McCrary as much as any player I ever played.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right. So I know we got to go here, but I want 2 things. One, you're very involved in the community, and you always have been, and that's been very important to you. People know you as a player. A lot of people know you as a person, obviously, but you really care about this community, as I do, and the people in it. You try to help them every chance you get. You use your platform to do it.
Yeah. I remember in '95 when I got here, and I had this financial advisor said, you should start a foundation. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Yeah. He's like, well, to give back. Right. I'm like, I just got money for the first time in my life. I'm not giving any away. Are you kidding me? He's it's the right thing to do. Yeah, right. I mean, I was 23 years old. Right. I was a knucklehead. Yeah. And my wife did most of it. Angie did a lot of it, probably that first 2 years. And then all of a sudden I got really involved. And ultimately what it is, and it's ebbed and flowed, the foundation of what we do and don't do and everything else. But at the end of the day, this is my home. Yeah. This is a great community. And I love Jacksonville. I love the people of Jacksonville. Definitely. I love the culture, just what it's about. Yep. And I think no different, and I have a platform like you do as a Jaguar. Sure. But more than anything is I think just being a part of a community, you should give back and be a good neighbor. And and that's, whether it's, we were talking before, riding bikes down the beach. Yeah. And maybe visiting a few establishments and say hi to the people. That's right. Or just going out to dinner or just hanging out. That's right. Or giving back to the foundation. I just love this place. And so if I'm going to be a part of a community, I want to try to make it better. Yeah, and no doubt. I think hopefully everyone feels that way. Yeah, you've done it too. There's no doubt. I know there's more work to do, obviously. All right, great year by the Jags. You cover them. Obviously, you're doing the radio. Doug, great. I mean, what a turnaround. I feel like it's like the cement's laid for the foundation. You know what I mean? The footers are in, foundation's in. We're just going to go up from here. Hey, I don't like when I hear, we'll be back. You never know if you're going to be back. You never know. We were lucky to be back. But you know that. You know how tough I remember when we lost up in New England in '96. Yep. And we were like a series away from going to Super Bowl. I know. We were right there. It stings every year. Oh. Does it sting you? Okay. Every day. Because I know. It drives me nuts. Real quick on that. Yeah. And I did the game, the Jags routes. I did national radio for the Chiefs Bengals. Yep. And I was sitting in the booth, and this is 2023, so that was 30 years ago, 26 years, 20, whatever it was. And I was sitting there, and I was broken. Like there was a piece of me that was broken.
Right.
I'm just sitting there like, and someone we were talking about, I'm like, these are the moments I wish more than anything I could put pads back on and go out there and play
No
this
doubt
game.
in that moment.
In that moment.
Right.
There's nothing better. There's just nothing.
I agree.
And, but I remember leaving that game in 96 playoffs, and I remember thinking, I told Mark we were driving back, and he was down because, the late interception, he was bummed.
Yep.
And I said, we'll be back. Like, because you think you're a young guy.
No,
like,
invincible.
We just did it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll do it again. But you don't know how many chances you get. And but I think the foundation is laid. In this league today, obviously you have to have the right head coach.
Yep.
And Doug Peterson, great head coach, great leader, outstanding play caller. And I don't think people appreciate what he had to do after the last goofball was here.
Yeah, right.
Urban, who just was.
Nobody likes saying his name.
I mean, it's because how bad it was bad
terrible.
as it could be.
It was terrible.
I mean, because like it's not just he was a bad coach.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything he said.
No.
He said one thing, did this. So he's gone. Thank God.
Yeah.
And so he comes in and changes the culture, fixes it. Amazing. So you have the right head coach, and today you have to have the quarterback.
Yeah.
And Trevor's a franchise quarterback.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, he's going to be.
No doubt. Let me ask you real quick.
Really good.
When he was struggling, we still knew he had a ton of talent. But not that he was, you just were like, man, you're missing open guys. Like, what's going on? Like, come on, you got to hit these. But then he settled down and really turned the corner.
Well, I said, on the Monday morning show I do with Dan and Jeff, I said from the beginning, I said, guys, act like this is his rookie year.
Okay.
Because last year he was thrown into the pile of what.
Yep.
And and no development, distractions, everything else. Act like this is rookie year. And I remember it was after a game early, and the fans are like, "Oh, is he the wrong guy?" Which is good. That's what fans should do.
Yeah.
And I said on the radio, I believe now, as much as ever, he is a franchise quarterback. Be patient. He's going to figure out he has the right coach.
Yep.
He has the right talent.
Yep.
And Trevor Lawrence is mentally tough.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
And physically.
Yeah,
he's got it all.
A lot of guys can be physically
You're
tough.
right.
But if you don't have it up between the ears, you have no chance at that position. So, with those two guys in, there's no guarantees. You still got to improve the roster. I think defensively, you got to figure out how to impact the quarterback more.
No doubt.
I saw you tweet, I think it was today or yesterday, get off on third down. I mean,
by the
way, I love your tweets all the time.
Thanks.
I'm like, Tom, you just throwing bombs out there.
You can't be afraid, John.
No, bombs. Just throwing bombs.
I got backup, right?
No, you're good. You give your opinion. You give some data to back it up. But I just like the bomb. Like I just follow you on Twitter. I just follow you on Twitter. I'm like, Tommy Mack at it again.
That's right.
Which, by the way, is no different than you were in the locker room.
No, right.
Same dude. You haven't changed.
Same.
Which is the best. So yeah, I think they are set up for success.
Cool, man. It's gonna be great. Thanks for joining me, man.
Hey, what to do this is awesome.
It's so much fun.
This is really
and how
cool.
about this ship? 11,000 missions, Tom.
It's amazing.
This ship right here.
I was talking to Mike back there, Navy.
Mike White,
yeah, he's in the Navy, and he was on an aircraft carrier. So I was just picking his brain about like what that was like, and he was telling me about how many guys would be on this ship and stuff. And I think what I love about Jacksonville, another thing about Jacksonville, it's a military town. Definitely. Obviously, it's a heavy Navy more than anything, but it's a military town. And get on a boat like this, you realize the men and women that just give a piece of their life, and some their entire life.
Oh, right.
I mean, the ultimate sacrifice to make us sit here on this beautiful St. Johns River, not worried about too much of anything. You talk ball, play. Like America's good.
Yeah,
and it's good because of people like Mike and the people who serve on this boat and several, across the military, whatever branch it is.
No doubt. Cheers, brother. Thanks so much. Man. I'll see you in Jack's Beach.
We'll do this one out. Maybe like if I don't have to go back to work next time, we'll come. We'll have a couple more beers.
All right. Hey, find more of these conversations at iwannabuzz.com. We're out on the USS Orleck in downtown Jacksonville. Until next time, stay safe and be cool out there. We'll see you right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV, out on location on the USS Orleck, a huge military show for us, brought to you by our friends at Firewatch. My guest this time around is Amy Dover. She's from Lorette Point Consulting. She also served in our Air Force. Let's welcome her to the show. Amy, welcome.
Very nice to meet you.
How are you? Did I get that name right?
Lyric.
Yes, there you go. Lyric
yes.
Point Consulting. There you go. Welcome to the show, and thanks for being here.
Thanks.
And thank you for your service. 6.5 years. Was that? Did you join right out of high school, college? What was your
I did.
beginning?
I joined the same year you joined the Jags.
1995.
96.
Good year. All right, well, I joined 95. All right, we're close.
Okay, we're close. We're close.
Very good. All right, so you joined in 96. Out of high school or college?
Right out of high school.
Okay.
Joined for Signals Intel. You know, when you do that little dream sheet, you stay close. Like, I'm a Florida girl, and so I put all of the southeast states, and they sent me to northern Japan because that's close. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Northern Japan. How long were you there for?
2 years.
Okay. Enjoy it?
I mean, I loved it. I didn't even have a coat for all the snow. I mean, it was, I'm a Florida girl, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what did you do in the Air Force?
So I was Signals Intel.
Okay.
Learning how to collect and patch signals for communications.
Okay. Great. Did what you do in the service translate into the real world, as we like to call it, as a civilian?
No.
It did not?
No, but I was very fortunate in the sense that I worked side by side with the Department of Defense IT contractor.
Okay.
And they taught me new skills that were transferable.
Okay.
I rolled out of the Air Force, spent 11 years as a DoD IT program manager, leading IT contracts, and that helped me to parlay into business consulting.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So it did kind of start with your training.
It did.
In the Air Force. So that's fantastic. What does it mean to you to have served for our country? What does that mean?
I mean, it's a great honor to be a woman who has served and to serve honorably, to represent everyone around me. You know, I mentioned the fact that I am from Florida, and the fact that, you know, we carry our family and our roots with us everywhere that we go. So I took that seriously. Yeah,
I bet. How about with the USS Orleck being here, parked in downtown Jacksonville? It took a lot to get here.
Yes.
But how does that make you feel as well?
You know, Dan actually brought us on a tour.
Okay.
About a month ago.
Dan Bean,
Dan Bean, love him. And so, we're both River Club members, and he took all of the River Club members on a tour and really just enjoyed the history. And if you have not taken a tour with Dan, make sure that Dan is the tour guide. Yeah. Sounds fun. All the events they're having on here is absolutely incredible. I mean, incredible. Yeah. Incredible. It's very unique. Tell us about your consulting business. What do you guys do? So we do all of the unsexy parts of business, right? Okay. All of the things that focus on the structure of the back end of the business that make the business work, that are often overlooked. Back office stuff. Right. So strategic planning, operations management. We have a team of trainers that focus on the strategic training plan to help companies train their staff so that they're able to reach their goals, like bring their team with them, equip their team. And how long have you been doing that? When did you start that? This is my 10-year anniversary. All right. Yes. Nice. That's not an easy task. No, it is not. Yeah, it's tough being an entrepreneur in the beginning, isn't it? Amen. Yes. Absolutely. You can obviously, feel for people that you got a dream, got an idea, and you got to keep plugging away. How about our Jags? Pretty exciting. So proud. Come on, you're a Florida girl. You got to love that the Jags did well. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, great having you on here. Thanks so much for taking the time, and thank you for your service. Absolutely. My pleasure. Amy, fantastic. Thanks so much. All right, you're going to see more of these conversations at iwanttabuzz.com. Until next time, stay safe and be cool out there. We see you right here on The Horse's Mouth.